How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Collecting Collector's Editions over here at Everything You Nerd. I am Skillet, and for today's item, I am super excited for this. It's been a while since we've gotten a collector's edition from this company. This company never fails. They never let down, and I honestly can't wait to hop into this. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in, and that is the Elden Ring Nightreign Collector's Edition. We'll go ahead. Comes in typical From Software packaging with the slip cover and a bunch of cool artwork. A detailed picture of everything. We get a bunch of pics from the game and some more artwork on the side. So let's go ahead. Looks like the box is taped up. I've got my handy dandy Leatherman Freestyle. I'm gonna go ahead and slice into this. Remember, folks, whenever using a knife, cut away from the body, away from the body. Always promote safety when using a bladed tool. I think there should be one on the other side. Yep. So we'll go ahead, and it looks like there's a perforated edge on this, but we're just gonna go ahead and help it along. There we go. And then, oh, a little piece of tape on my knife. Remember to always take care of your bladed tools. Do not allow them to get dull, because then that becomes more dangerous. So we're gonna go ahead and slide the slip cover off. So it looks like we have just a traditional From Software Collector's Edition. We have Wilder, Statue of Wilder, 8 Wayfarer cards, and digital codes and all that fun stuff, which they sent me the digital codes already for the download of the game. And I actually allowed my son to download them and play them. So I don't think there's going to be an actual physical copy in this. Let's go ahead and... there is. What? Remember, folks, cut away from the body. Away from the body. Wow. I'm gonna have to go see what my son downloaded then, because I received a code. Huh. Anyway, we'll go ahead and put that garbage right there. Now, let's go ahead and keep hopping right into this. Oh, I forgot to show the box. From Software never fails to deliver. They always have a bunch of cool stuff, and they always take care of their clientele. So this seems to be... what is this right here? Use this code to access the downloadable content for Elden Ring Nightreign. Good through December 31st, 2099. We still got a long ways to go. And then, of course, we have the Elden Ring soundtrack code, or Elden Ring Nightreign soundtrack code. And of course, we get the steelbook. So let's go ahead. We'll put the box down before we go through this next stuff. Put that down. Open it up. We got a bunch of cool artwork from the game on the inside, from the lands between. Of course, the Elden Ring logo and a picture of Wilder. And then we have the 8 Wayfarer cards. Oh, these are cool. I don't know what you would do with these, but that's cool. And then there's one for each one. They're like a plastic laminate. I guess what you could do is build like a... ooh, you know what I'm probably going to do? I'm probably going to build like a frame for these, and then I'll put them inside the frame and then hang it up on my wall. Yeah, that'll be cool. Alright, let's go ahead and put this stuff back down in the top of the case. Uh-oh. No, no. Okay, and then we will lift this top tray out. And then we have some instructions on how to put the statue together, apparently. And it never fails, dude. It never fails. This is one of the reasons why I love me some From Software, because they always give detailed art books with really cool pictures and close-ups of a lot of the monsters and stuff like that. Love me some From Software just for that reason. I love it when they do the art books and all that, because I always feel like it expands on the lore some. And oh yeah, so the art book comes in its own slipcase. Make sure there's nothing else in there. And here we go, our statue of Wilder. So let's go ahead. I don't think it's taped anywhere. It doesn't seem to be. So what we'll do is open it. Oh, yep, that's taped down below. But it's separated enough to where you can just pull it apart with your finger. Woo! And we'll get out Wilder's sword, and this should come off just like that, and then it should slide in just like that. And I'm guessing, there we go, yep. And then there's a little slot right there, as you can see. There's a little, and then there's like a crease in his shoulder. It's like folded into one of the flaps of the clothing of his shoulder, and then it fits in like that. I actually like that because it makes everything nice and secure. So very cool statue. It's very detailed. I wish they would have made the cape a little bit more clothy, but there's a lot of detail in the cape. Very cool. It's gonna go right up with the rest of my From Software statues. Just like that. And there we go. The Wilder statue. And I actually, so I've played this game quite a bit, and I actually like this character. He's a lot of fun, and he has a special that is very hard impacting, and he's got like a cool Sekiro style grappling hook on his arm. So I actually dig this character a lot. I know a lot of people have been choosing the Recluse, but I've been choosing him most of the time. So we'll go ahead and we'll put this down right there. We'll drop that back in, and as I'm putting this together, we'll kind of talk about the Elden Ring Nightreign. So I have a feeling that Nightreign is only going to be for the biggest of From Software fans. It's definitely not going to be your traditional, it's not even close to like what a traditional Soulsborne style format would be. It's almost closer to a battle royale without the PvP element to it. And so I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of Easter eggs and all that stuff that are only going to be noticeable to those who have been extremely loyal to the brand and have played through the games fully. Not that people who aren't like dedicated fans of the series, but at the same time, it's not going to be something that's for everyone. I definitely feel that it will appeal to a new style of audience. It's going to appeal a lot to the Apex Legends audience and the Fortnite audience and the Warzone audience, just based on how the format is and the way that everything is set up. As far as the collector's edition goes, I'm really satisfied with it. I wish it would have had some, like, those little buttons. You guys know me, I'm a sucker for those little tiny buttons. But as far as, like, the statue goes, it feels like it's a very good quality PVC. It feels very sturdy. It feels very strong. A lot of times when you have statues with smaller weak points, like in the feet, you can definitely feel that if it were going to fall over something, that it would break. But this, I feel like this could take a hit or two. And I like that, especially being somebody that has kids. I like it when the statues that I get feel like they have some sturdiness to them, just because my kids are wild. And sometimes they do wild things. It's just the nature of being a kid. And sometimes things get broken. And it makes me feel a little more comfortable that this might be able to take a hit or two. Not that it's going to be right in the way, but, you know, in the event that if something ever bad ever did happen, that it would be covered. Either way, this is going to be amazing to any From Software fan. They're going to love this. They're going to be super excited with it. So if you're looking for a gift to get somebody, I think that you can still get these on the Bandai Namco website. And I'm sure that other retail locations might have a few copies as well. From Software and Bandai Namco are pretty good about making an adequate quantity of collector's editions. I've never really ran into that where they run out of something. I've only experienced that a few times, like with Black Myth Wukong, Expedition 33, and a few other titles. But typically when it comes to the bigger companies like Square Enix and From Software and all that, I feel like they understand that their fan base are dedicated and hardcore, and they all go in for the stuff like this. It is a little bit pricey, I'm not gonna lie. It was $254 plus tax and shipping and all that other stuff. It was pretty expensive. And I paid $250 out the door. It was like $254.75 out the door, including everything. So it's pretty standard, going with all the, like, the gaming inflation and stuff that's going on. I have a feeling that gaming collector's editions are going to be about this price. It's going to be like the standard price going forward. From Software and Bandai Namco are still pretty fair when it comes to things like this. But in this market, I understand that that's still a little bit pricey. But how often does From Software ever really come out? I mean, it's like, what, once every 2 years that they come out with the game. So yeah, I think it balances out. They're not like, you know, Activision or something like that, where they're releasing a new Call of Duty every 6 months, or, you know, a new expansion pack every 3 months. That's crazy. And you know that you always get good quality content every single time. And I really dig this statue. I'm telling you, I like this character. It feels very nimble. His combat feels very fluid. I haven't really tried out the other characters yet. I've tried out the Winged Gentleman and this guy. But like I said, I've only played a couple of times, and I'm horrible with names. That just comes from the cost of being a knucklehead when you're younger. So, with that being said, yeah, I'm going to have to highly, highly recommend this. But also take that with a grain of salt, because I am a FromSoft fanboy. I love me some Soulsborne. So, take that into consideration as well, that I'm going to be pretty biased when it comes to something like that. And I'm going to recommend this to a lot of people. But just understand that this isn't going to be a traditional Soulsborne game, and it's probably going to be only for the most, like, dedicated fan base, or for a newer type of fan base coming over from, like, the Battle Royale side of things. So we'll see. I will have to give a recommend. I will give this whole setup probably an 8.5 out of 10, just because I do the buttons. I like those little buttons, man. Armored Core came with some, Elden Ring came with some, and I'm a little bummed out that we didn't get like a little Wilder pin, you know what I mean? I think that would have been cool. But we got the art book, we got the steel book, we got the statue. It was, for a collector's edition, it was a pretty decent price, and it is a very cool looking statue. It is pretty darn detailed when it comes down to it. You know, they got the fabric down, and you can even feel, like, you can see the fabric. Oh no, I have a crappy camera, but it looks like jean material, and you can feel almost like that jean material feeling in the statue. So other than that, I hope you guys were able to get some useful information out of this. You know, I hope that I can become a trustworthy source to a lot of you guys. And if you did get something useful out of this, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And if you didn't, you know, I at least appreciate you stopping by and checking it out and giving the channel a little bit of support. You know, I'm just a little guy out here. I'm a goldfish swimming in a shark tank. And I'm just trying to make my mark out here. And I think From Software is the way to go with that. Other than that, though, I hope you guys all have an excellent, happy, safe, and wonderful day. And I hope to catch you guys out there in the lands between. Until then, peace.